Let me ask you something. Why does your blood sugar remain stubbornly high, even though you've been careful with your medications, avoided sweets, and tried your best to follow your doctor's advice? For many seniors living with diabetes, this is one of the most frustrating experiences. You feel like you're doing everything right, yet your numbers don't budge, or worse, complications like fatigue, tingling in your feet, or slow-healing wounds start creeping in. Most people are told that diabetes is only about sugar, insulin, and pills. But that's only part of the story. There's a hidden side of diabetes management that is rarely discussed, and it has nothing to do with counting carbs or adjusting your medication dose. Instead, it has everything to do with the nutrient gaps silently developing in your body, gaps that weaken insulin, damage your nerves, exhaust your energy, and accelerate long-term complications like kidney disease, vision loss, and heart problems. You see, your body is like a finely tuned machine. To run smoothly, it doesn't just need fuel. It needs the right tools, the right cofactors, and the right building blocks. These come in the form of vitamins and minerals. Without them, even the best diet or strongest medication cannot perform at its full potential. Imagine trying to repair a car without the proper tools. That's what happens inside your body when it runs low on essential nutrients. Here's the surprising truth. Research shows that many older adults with diabetes are quietly deficient in key vitamins, without ever realizing it. And the symptoms of those deficiencies often masquerade as normal aging. Constant fatigue, that might not just be getting older. Numbness or tingling in the feet, not always inevitable neuropathy. Mood swings, brain fog, dry skin, frequent colds, or even problems with balance and coordination. All of these may be subtle cries from your body that it is missing critical nutrients. But here's the good news. Restoring these vitamins can often make a noticeable difference. Filling these hidden nutritional gaps doesn't mean reversing diabetes overnight, but it does mean giving your body the support it desperately needs to function better, to protect itself, and to help you feel stronger and more comfortable every single day. That is exactly what we're going to cover in this video. I'm going to walk you through the vitamins that matter most for seniors living with diabetes. The ones that improve how insulin works, protect your nerves, support your heart and kidneys, and even safeguard your vision. You'll learn the early warning signs of deficiency, the foods that naturally replenish these vitamins, and when carefully chosen supplements may be necessary. And before we go further, let me emphasize this as your doctor and health guide today. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for medical advice, and it is not meant to replace your prescribed treatment plan. Always consult your physician or endocrinologist before starting any new supplement, especially if you're on medications for diabetes, blood pressure, or cholesterol. Every body is different, and what benefits one person may not be appropriate for another. Still, I want you to walk away with hope and clarity, because the truth is, your body is not broken. It is not failing you. In many cases, it simply needs the right tools, the right nutrients to thrive again. And once you provide those, your energy, comfort, and long-term health can change in ways you may not have thought possible. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you've ever wondered why your blood sugar stays high despite your best efforts, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the vitamins most people with diabetes overlook, and how correcting those deficiencies may not only improve your blood sugar, but also transform the way you experience health and aging. Now let's take a step deeper and talk about why vitamins and nutrients matter so much for people with diabetes, and especially for older adults. When you live with diabetes, your body is under constant stress. High blood sugar itself is damaging. It doesn't just float around harmlessly. Excess glucose sticks to proteins, blood vessels, and nerve tissues in a process we call glycation. Over time, this glycation creates stiff, inflamed, and fragile tissues. This is one of the main reasons complications like neuropathy, kidney disease, and retinopathy occur. But here's what most people don't realize. Every one of these processes, high blood sugar, glycation, inflammation, consumes vitamins at a faster rate. Your body uses up antioxidants like vitamin C and E to try and neutralize the oxidative stress created by excess glucose. It burns through B vitamins like B6 and B12 to repair nerves, produce red blood cells, and help insulin do its job. Even the simple fact of frequent urination, which is common in diabetes, leads to losses of water-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin C and the B-complex family. So while you're fighting to lower your glucose, your body is quietly losing the very nutrients it needs to fight back effectively. On top of that, certain medications, especially metformin, which is one of the most commonly prescribed drugs for type 2 diabetes, can interfere with the absorption of vitamin B12. Studies have shown that long-term metformin users often have measurable drops in B12 levels, which can cause or worsen neuropathy. Some blood pressure and cholesterol medications can also affect how vitamins are metabolized, further tipping the balance. And if you are over the age of 60 or 70, your digestive system simply doesn't absorb nutrients as efficiently as it once did. Stomach acid production declines with age, making it harder to extract vitamins like B12, calcium, and magnesium from food. Gastrointestinal changes, slower metabolism, and chronic medication use all add to this problem. So when you add it all up, high blood sugar increasing demand, frequent urination washing nutrients away, inflammation burning through reserves, medications blocking absorption, and age reducing efficiency, you begin to see why seniors with diabetes are at such a high risk of being nutrient deficient. This is the silent problem no one is talking about. And if those nutrient gaps are not addressed, insulin works less effectively, energy stays low, and complications appear faster. 2.2 Evidence Summary and Limitations. Now let's be clear. What does the science actually say about vitamins in diabetes? This is where things get interesting. Many observational studies, meaning research that looks at large groups of people over time, consistently show that individuals with diabetes tend to have lower levels of certain vitamins and antioxidants compared to those without diabetes. For example, lower blood levels of vitamins A, C, and E are common. B vitamin deficiencies, particularly B6, B12, and folate, are also more frequent in people with diabetes. These findings make sense because of the mechanisms we just discussed: higher oxidative stress, faster nutrient loss, and impaired absorption. However, when scientists put vitamins to the test in randomized controlled trials, which are the gold standard for proving cause and effect, the results are more mixed. Some studies show that supplementing with antioxidants or B vitamins improves insulin sensitivity, reduces oxidative stress, or slows complications like neuropathy. But other studies show little or no direct effect on blood sugar levels. For example, vitamin D has been studied extensively. Low vitamin D levels are linked to higher risk of type 2 diabetes and poorer glucose control. Yet, large clinical trials supplementing vitamin D did not always show dramatic improvements in blood sugar or diabetes outcomes. Similarly, vitamin C and vitamin E may lower markers of oxidative stress, but they do not consistently lower A1C levels in all studies. So what's the takeaway? The American Diabetes Association (ADA) is very careful in its guidelines. They clearly state, unless you have a documented deficiency, routine supplementation with vitamins has no proven benefit for lowering blood sugar. In other words, popping random vitamins as a quick fix is not the answer. But, and this is important for seniors who do have documented deficiencies, targeted supplementation can be extremely helpful. Correcting a low B12 level may reduce nerve pain and improve energy. Restoring vitamin D to normal range may improve insulin sensitivity and support bone and immune health. Increasing vitamin C intake from food may strengthen blood vessels and improve healing. This is why supplementation in diabetes should not be viewed as a blanket cure, but rather as a precision tool. Not everyone needs the same vitamin in the same dose. It depends on your lab work, your symptoms, your medications, and your overall health status. Think of it this way. Vitamins are not magic bullets that replace lifestyle changes or medications. But if your body is missing key tools, no amount of medicine will work at its full potential. By addressing deficiencies carefully and scientifically, you give your body a fighting chance to respond better, recover faster, and stay healthier longer. Vitamin B6, pyridoxine/P5P. Let's begin with vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, or in its active form pyridoxal 5-phosphate P5P. Why it matters in diabetes. Vitamin B6 is absolutely essential for glucose metabolism and nerve function. It acts as a coenzyme in over 100 reactions in the body, many of which involve protein metabolism, neurotransmitter production, and hemoglobin formation. For people with diabetes, B6 is particularly important because it helps regulate how the body processes carbohydrates and supports the nervous system, which is highly vulnerable to diabetic damage. Deficiency risks. When B6 is low, seniors may experience tingling, burning, or numbness in the hands and feet, symptoms that overlap with diabetic neuropathy. This makes it tricky because sometimes what looks like worsening diabetes complications may actually be aggravated by a simple vitamin shortage. Other deficiency signs include mood changes such as irritability or depression, muscle weakness, and even anemia in severe cases. Food sources. Fortunately, B6 can be found in a wide variety of foods. Chickpeas are one of the richest plant-based sources. Liver, fish like tuna and salmon, poultry, bananas, and sunflower seeds also provide excellent amounts. Eating a varied diet with both plant and animal proteins usually covers basic needs, but absorption can decline with age. Supplementation and safety. For those with confirmed deficiency or high need, supplementation may be considered. The active form pyridoxal 5-phosphate P5P is often better absorbed and utilized in seniors, especially those with metabolic or digestive limitations. But here's the key caution. While moderate supplementation can be helpful, very high doses of B6 over time can actually cause neuropathy, the very problem we're trying to prevent. It's a classic case of too much of a good thing. The balance with other B vitamins, particularly B12 and folate, is also critical, because they work together in nerve and red blood cell health. That's why medical supervision is so important when supplementing. 3.2 Vitamin E. Next up is vitamin E, one of the body's most powerful fat-soluble antioxidants. Why it matters in diabetes. Vitamin E protects the delicate fatty membranes of your cells from oxidative stress. Think of it as a shield against the constant rusting effect of high blood sugar. It has been studied for its potential role in improving insulin sensitivity, reducing inflammation, and protecting blood vessels. Deficiency signs. True vitamin E deficiency is rare, but in seniors with diabetes, borderline low levels can contribute to nerve dysfunction, dry or fragile skin, slow wound healing, or even subtle vision changes. Because oxidative stress is already high in diabetes, even slightly low vitamin E can accelerate complications. Food sources. Natural sources are always preferable. Almonds, sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, spinach, broccoli, and avocados are among the best. Oils like wheat germ oil are also very rich, though less commonly used in daily cooking. Supplementation and safety. When supplementation is needed, natural forms, labeled as D-alpha tocopherol, or better yet, mixed tocopherols, are preferred over synthetic DL-alpha tocopherol. The catch with vitamin E is safety. Too much can interfere with blood clotting and even increase bleeding risk, especially in people taking blood thinners like warfarin. That's why doses should stay well within safe upper limits, unless supervised by a physician. For most seniors, getting vitamin E from a mix of foods plus, if needed, a moderate supplement is the wisest strategy. 3.3 Vitamin C. Vitamin C is often the first antioxidant that comes to mind, and for good reason. Why it matters in diabetes. Vitamin C is water-soluble and plays a central role in fighting oxidative damage caused by high blood sugar. It helps regenerate other antioxidants like vitamin E, supports collagen production for skin and blood vessel health, and strengthens the immune system. 1 Fascinating fact. Vitamin C and glucose actually compete for the same cellular entry pathway. That means if blood sugar is high, cells may absorb less vitamin C, even if you're eating plenty. So hyperglycemia itself can drive functional vitamin C deficiency. Deficiency hints. In seniors, low vitamin C may show up as easy bruising, gum bleeding, delayed wound healing, fatigue, or frequent infections. These symptoms often get blamed on aging or diabetes, but sometimes the underlying issue is simply low vitamin C intake or poor absorption. Food sources. The best sources are fresh fruits and vegetables. Bell peppers, kiwis, strawberries, citrus fruits, papaya, and leafy greens like spinach and kale. Eating these raw or lightly cooked preserves the vitamin content. Supplementation and safety. Some older adults benefit from supplements, particularly in controlled release or liposomal forms, which are gentler on the stomach and provide more stable absorption. Very high doses, however, can cause digestive upset or, in people with kidney problems, raise the risk of kidney stones. For most seniors, moderate supplementation within recommended limits is safe and may be especially helpful when diet is lacking. 3.4 Vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin/hormone. Vitamin D is technically more of a hormone than a vitamin, and it plays roles far beyond bone health. Why it matters in diabetes. Vitamin D influences how the pancreas secretes insulin, how cells respond to insulin, and how the immune system regulates inflammation. Low vitamin D levels have been consistently linked with higher risk of type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, and even worse outcomes in older adults. Evidence. However, clinical trials are mixed. For example, one large study supplementing 4,000 IU daily did not significantly reduce diabetes incidence overall, although subgroups with very low vitamin D at baseline seem to benefit. This shows us that supplementation is most helpful in those who are truly deficient, not necessarily as a blanket solution for everyone. Food sources. Vitamin D is harder to get from diet. Oily fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, as well as fortified dairy or plant-based milks and egg yolks, provide some. Sun exposure. Sunlight remains the most natural source. Safe, moderate exposure of arms and face a few times per week can help, but for seniors, skin production declines with age, and for those living in northern latitudes, sunlight may not be enough. Supplementation and safety. That's why supplementation is often necessary in older adults. The key is to monitor blood levels of 25-hydroxyvitamin D and adjust accordingly. Too much vitamin D can cause high calcium levels, kidney stress, or even heart rhythm problems, so it's crucial not to overdo it. Most doctors recommend moderate daily doses unless a deficiency is confirmed, and higher doses are prescribed short-term. 3.5 Other nutrients to consider. Bonus section. Finally, let's briefly touch on some other nutrients that deserve attention. Vitamin B12, especially critical for seniors on metformin. Low B12 can mimic or worsen neuropathy, cause fatigue, and impair cognition. Food sources include meat, fish, dairy, and fortified cereals, but absorption declines with age. In many older adults, supplementation, sometimes even injections, is necessary. Magnesium. This mineral supports over 300 enzymatic reactions, including insulin signaling and glucose metabolism. Low magnesium has been linked to insulin resistance and poor glycemic control. Leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains are good sources, but many seniors still fall short. Alpha-lipoic acid, a unique antioxidant that works in both fat and water environments, and some studies show it may reduce symptoms of diabetic neuropathy. It's not a vitamin, but often used as a supplement under medical supervision. Benfotiamine, a derivative of vitamin B1. This form of thiamine has been studied in diabetic neuropathy, with evidence suggesting it helps protect nerves from glycation damage. It's not mainstream yet, but growing in clinical interest. 4. Warning signs of nutrient deficiencies in seniors with diabetes. When it comes to seniors living with diabetes, nutrient deficiencies often sneak in quietly. The symptoms are subtle at first and are frequently mistaken for just aging or just diabetes. But paying attention to these warning signs can help catch problems early, before complications accelerate. Here's a comprehensive checklist of red flags to watch for. Energy and fatigue. Persistent tiredness despite good sleep. If you wake up feeling drained even after 7 to 8 hours of rest, it may signal low B vitamins like B12 or B6, vitamin D deficiency, or iron-related anemia. Low stamina for daily tasks. Struggling to walk, cook, or do chores you once managed comfortably could point to nutrient-related weakness, not just aging. Nerve and sensory symptoms. New or worsening neuropathy. Tingling, burning, numbness, or stabbing pains in the hands and feet may be worsened by low B12, B6, or vitamin E. Many seniors assume this is only diabetic nerve damage, but deficiencies often make symptoms far worse. Loss of balance or coordination. Neuropathy plus vitamin B deficiencies can affect how nerves send signals to muscles, leading to unsteady walking. Skin, wound healing, and immune health. Slow wound healing. Cuts or sores that take unusually long to close may suggest vitamin C or zinc deficiency. For a diabetic senior, this is especially concerning since poor healing can increase risk of infections. Dry, cracked skin. Low vitamin E, vitamin C, or essential fatty acids may play a role. Frequent infections. Recurrent urinary tract infections, colds, or skin infections can signal low vitamin D, vitamin C, or zinc, all of which are vital for immune defense, mental and emotional health. Mood changes, irritability, or depression. Low B6, B12, and folate can disrupt neurotransmitter balance, leading to mood swings, irritability, or even depressive symptoms. Brain fog and memory problems. Struggling with focus, short-term memory lapses, or confusion can be linked to deficiencies in B12, folate, or vitamin D. Seniors often think this is just normal aging, but sometimes restoring nutrients helps dramatically. Circulatory and blood health. Symptoms of anemia. Dizziness, pale skin, cold hands and feet, or feeling faint upon standing can result from B12 or folate deficiency, which are more common in seniors on metformin. Elevated homocysteine lab finding this blood marker rises when B12, B6, or folate is low. High homocysteine is linked to cardiovascular risk and cognitive decline. Bone, muscle, and pain symptoms. Bone pain or tenderness, often linked to vitamin D deficiency, which weakens bone mineralization. Muscle cramps, spasms, or weakness. Low magnesium, vitamin D, or potassium may be at fault. Frequent falls or fractures. Chronic low vitamin D, calcium, or magnesium may weaken bone and muscle resilience. Eye and vision clues. Blurry vision or delayed dark adaptation. Vitamin A, E, and C deficiencies may worsen eye health, adding to the already high risk of diabetic retinopathy. Dry eyes or irritation. Vitamin A and omega-3 fatty acid deficiencies can contribute. Digestive and appetite changes. Loss of appetite or poor digestion, sometimes linked to zinc or B12 deficiency. Numb tongue, burning mouth, or mouth ulcers can signal B12, folate, or B-complex deficiencies. Laboratory warning signs. Low serum vitamin levels. Blood tests showing low B12, D, C, or magnesium confirm deficiency. Elevated homocysteine or methylmalonic acid suggests B12 or folate deficiency, even if blood levels look normal. Anemia on labs, low hemoglobin or hematocrit may be linked to B12, folate, or iron. Abnormal calcium or phosphorus levels. Possible vitamin D or magnesium imbalance. 7. Cautions, FAQs, and myths, as a doctor would explain. When it comes to vitamins and supplements for seniors with diabetes, the most important message is this: they are tools, not cures. Vitamins can support your health,